Hey everybody, Andrew themoo here, and I've got to make sure to listen up for specific sounds. And I'm hearing sounds coming out. That's a good sign, because I originally started recording this a little bit earlier, had 2 episodes of it recorded, was going to start editing it, and all of a sudden found out, boop, no sound. And I didn't want to release these without sound. You can tell it's a Disney game, 2002. And, of course, the fact that it's made by Disney Interactive probably tells you a whole lot about it as well. I kind of like the way they've got the screen starting up, and I'm not hearing sound anymore, so we may not be doing this. Yep, sound disappeared. Well, we're going to see if it works in just a moment, because if I hear the sound of Elvis in my ears, then we'll know this works and this doesn't.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, I'm going deaf now. So yeah, it's a little loud. I have sound in my ear, and I'm going to have to unplug this because it is a little bit loud. I'm going to turn this down and pop the headphone back in. But yeah, you can see this is Lilo and Stitch. There are certain things that we can choose from. Our controls, the gallery, which we're going to mess with right now. Sounds, we're going to adjust the screen. Instead, we're going to start the game, and after the game starts, it's going to jump straight into me. The sound cut out, and that weirded me out. I'm going to have to keep a watch on that. But we're going to jump into a cutscene, which I'm going to cut out because it's a video directly from the movie. So let's go ahead and start a new game, and I'll see you in a minute. And we are back at Lilo's house. And I got to make sure that I've got sound going with this. Like I said, I've kind of heard the sound click slightly. Makes me a wee bit nervous. Okay. I'm hearing sound now, so that's a good sign. Nani, what have they done to you?
There you are.
Hi.
Listen, Lilo, I've got to go to work now, so I'll meet you in town at 1 o'clock, okay?
Okay. 1 o'clock. That's ages away. Come on, Stitch. We can get some more photos for my wall.
And so that's the way these levels are basically set up is... Oh, save game. No, we're not going to save the game right now. Set up where you got 4 levels where you are to gather certain items, either by Lilo or by Stitch. The first set of these is going to be photographs. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Sorry. Probably not what you want to hear right now is me trying to sing. You press circle to do voodoo attack, and you have a butt bash. I don't know whether or not that's racist, being the fact that, you know, she's Hawaiian and whatnot, and it's like, just drop her butt down on things. You know, she does kind of, if you're moving forward, she does have a bit of a carry. Ooh, crud, that's not what I wanted to do. Run away. And you're gathering little heart petals in every level. And so, you know, if you can't tell by now, this is Dollar Store Crash Bandicoot is the way this game is set up. If you like Crash Bandicoot, you might like this. Controls are a little wonky. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing up on top of there. You can destroy these, and I'm doing a really poor job of controlling Lilo right now. Do the bum bash. The the camera's job is to offer us checkpoints as you travel through the stages. And excuse me, I need to get that photograph. And I can't really tell what the photograph is. It just has kind of a wonky look to it. Now, these plants. You should not have been close enough to hit me. And I just realized that the song is Aloha Hoi, and we are close to dying. I'm doing worse this time around than I did my first playthrough of this. So, ooh, hedgehog, or porcupine. Dangerous creature. I don't know what that clapper is. I'm assuming the clapper is for movie scenes that we're not going to be able to watch, because obviously, you know, clapper, movie scenes, Disney copyright strike. We'll just kind of have to see. I'll have to take a look at it off screen and see what it is. The picture with Lilo's head, that's an extra life that I've gathered. Crud, I am taking all the hits this time around. And I think it's partially because I have at least a better understanding of how to play, and it's made me a little bit reckless because I know what I can and can't do. Oh, there's a rat there. I almost did not see that ratty fellow, and that could have been very dangerous to me, but we're actually done with this stage. So yeah, that's basically all there is to this game. It's not hard by any stretch of the imagination. I am likely going to be hula school.
Real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, very good condition, buyer must come pick it up.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is that all I need to say?
How much is it?
100.
That's fine. So, you notice there are these X's that basically tell you where you can't go. You can come here and... nuts. I've got to put in my memory card. I got the PS2 memory card in. Give me just a second. I'll pull that out and... pull that in. And... Come on. Save the game. And... yeah, I want to save the game. Overwrite, save game, yes. Like I said, I had already had a save game where I made it decently... I wouldn't say decently far into the game, but far enough into the game where I knew what I was doing. And we just had no sound to the videos, so there was no point in continuing on. But we have to deal with these between every stage. This is a boss fight. They are extraordinarily easy. He's going to chunk some things at me. Then he's going to walk like he's on a runway, and so we smack him in the back with voodoo. And so as long as I'm running around and avoiding his spray, he's going to run forward. Now he's going to try to smack me if I'm there, and we hit him in the back, and he's dead. So, I mean, it is real easy boss fights. And so we go this way, and now we get to play not as Lilo, but as Stitch. As we go down Kona Road. I think that's Kona Road. I almost called that Koana, and I'm like, why am I saying Koana? Kayano. It is, I can't pronounce road. So, with Stitch, we gather coffee cups. We spit things, for some reason. We gather coffee cups, and as we gather things, the Stitch meter pops up, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know the purpose of this Stitch meter. I like his attack better than Lilo's because it seems to have more reach to it than Lilo's does. Lilo's attack has little to no reach. You've got to, like, be all up on them. Whereas with Stitch, you've got a little bit of leeway what you can and can't do. Or at least some length. And the elderly ladies cannot be defeated. I have tried in the past. And she walloped me with her... oops. Oh, I'm full health, so I can't get the chicken wing. She walloped the living daylights out of me. But just like in the previous stages, you are trying to gather items. And I gotta drop down here. To get the extra life. And truth be told, the extra life isn't the most important thing. But I mean, it's nice to have. Alright. We made it this time. A lot of effort for just an extra life, but an extra life is an extra life. You know? And, so I wanted to play this because of the fact that this is, oh! We killed each other at the same time. Alright. This, as I was saying, this is... the favorite movie of my wife and I as far as Disney movies are concerned. We both absolutely love Lilo and Stitch. And Lilo and Stitch is something that, in reality, as a child, I did not like. I did not want to watch Lilo and Stitch. I thought the movie was kind of boring, and I didn't like the story. Well, come in here and let's talk about the movie together. And what ended up happening, what changed my mind, was actually rewatching it with my wife. No! Oh, come on! I didn't. Can I just restart path? Yep. I don't know if there's anything that goes along if I don't get it, but I'll see you guys in a moment once we get back to that spot. You know, it just dawned on me, I could have died and gone back to a checkpoint, so I did that for nothing. Okay, so we're back here. Let me see if doing this will solve my problem. Well, it will, but the platforming on this, the controls are a little wonky. Like, you saw Stitch just then kind of go through. He went absolutely through the pot before landing on it. Alright, boom. Oh, I forgot I can spin. That is completely not a ripoff of Crash Bandicoot at the least bit, is it, guys? But like I was saying earlier, I actually did not like Lilo and Stitch when it first came out. And I think the reason why is because I was young, and I was at an age where... and when I say this, it's going to sound ironic, all things considered. Because when you look at Stitch, he's like Hot Topic icon now. You know, you find his stuff all over Hot Topics. But as a teenager, I was like, oh, I don't care about this. I'm dark. I'm brooding. It's just a stupid Disney movie. And that was basically my attitude. Yeah. I mean, I was a typical teenager back, you know, during that time. And we died again. Oh, well. We're right here, so it's all good, all gravy. And kill that lizard this time. Sometimes his attacks just don't occur as quickly as I'd like them to. But, I guess what happened is I grew up, I grew older, and I think, and I may be wrong on this, I either owned Lilo and Stitch before I met my wife. I gave it to her as a gift because neither one of us owned it, and she was telling me how much she loved Lilo and Stitch. That's it. And so I got it for her as a gift, and we rewatched it. And upon the rewatch, I said, you know, this game, or this movie rather, is not as bad as I thought it was. So close to having all 100 of the coffee cups. And so with that in mind, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of liking this. And I think the thing that made me like this, and it occurred to me when I was watching, I guess while I was playing. And calling it this, I know, is kind of a stretch. Save game, yes. But one of the boss fights, it's more of a boss race, rather. But one of the boss races in this made me, you know, recollect one of the things I really like about this movie is because of the fact that the two main characters, Lilo and Stitch, are in a number of ways trying to find how they belong, and I think Stitch was just taunting this guy, and by shaking his butt at him. I don't think this guy's gonna actually throw. Yep, he's gonna throw. Okay, so he is. But they're both, in a manner of speaking, they both feel like they don't belong. Lilo is an outcast in her community because of the fact that she's living with her sister. Both of her parents are dead, and yes, that's very tragic. But you know, that's the way the storyline is. That you know, she's an outcast, and the whole thing, like with Scrump, has kind of made her a little weird too. I guess for lack of better wording is maybe she didn't have the proper coping mechanisms to deal with some of the stuff because of the fact that her sister really didn't know what she was doing. She wanted to keep the family together, but are you just kind of placating me at the moment? Okay. Okay. And so Nani really and truly didn't know what she was doing. She was trying her best, give her credit for that. But really had no clue what she was doing. And so she didn't know how to help her sister, although she was learning. You know, you chalk that into the fact that she's got, you know, I almost, well, I'm just going to call him Mr. Bubbles. But Bubbles, you know, breathing down her neck, concerning sending her sister to foster care. I mean, it is a rather stressful situation for Nani, and as well as, you know, to a large degree for Lilo. So, you know, you've got that aspect where she doesn't have what we would refer to as a normal family. Quickly grab before it blows up. Can I put that here? Oh! No. I was trying to figure out what that did earlier. Like, I can barely grab hold of that, but nothing else. Stitch is in the same predicament because of the fact he's the only one of his kind. And you go, well, you know, not really, because he's experiment 626. There were 626 of his fellow brethren who were made by Jumba, but the truth of the matter is, yes, he was still by himself. Because of the fact that he is the only Stitch. There are no other creatures like him. The closest thing to him, if you will, is Angel. And that's it. Other than, ow, walked right into that by accident. And so you've got two misfit. Now that was just unfair. That was just unfair game. Oh! Okay, so that actually worked out. Skadoosh. But Stitch was the only one of his kind. Run away. Well, we still got it. And the game is good as far as checkpoints are concerned. I'm going to run around this guy real quick. The things that I've gathered, it saves. So, I mean, I chalk that up as a good thing. Like, you can see the progress that I've made. The only thing that reappears is the enemies, but everything I've done for the most part up to this point stays. So, I like that about this game. But as I was saying, you got two misfits coming together, and real heartwarming stuff. I would definitely, if you've never seen the movie before, I recommend it. I think it's a good movie. Chomp, 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 and then you die. And quickly jump over here, and yeah. So I'm going to have to be real careful about this, and I actually got that no problem. I'm kind of shocked. Now, you may be wondering why I haven't used the, oh! I didn't want that to happen. You may be wondering why I haven't used the spoon yet. Spoon! It's because of the fact the spoon is, it's basic, nuts. Oh well. A screen clearing attack. You kind of use that when you're in a pickle, which I'm not in a pickle at the moment. And it blows things up. Or not blows things up, but it kills things for you. Ow, ow, ow. Come on. Come on, Mr. Chomps. Chomp, 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 and dead. So yeah, would definitely recommend you watch this movie if you've never seen it before. The game itself, you can see, as I kind of brought up a moment ago, this really and truly is a clone of Crash Bandicoot. And it's not a half-bad clone. Now, there are certain stages which we may get to see. Probably not in this episode. We'll see. It may be more in the next episode we get to see them, where this game does get a little bit frustrating. And by a little bit frustrating, I mean extraordinarily frustrating. To the point where Moo got angry slightly in the last recording. But that recording doesn't exist anymore, so that never happened. Even if I admit to it. So we're going to save the game right here, and we're going to call this an episode. And this has been Andrew the Moo. And I want to say thank you for watching this. We'll have more Lilo and Stitch next week. Hope you have a good one. Bye now.